So, big clues. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll. Finally getting to the point here. Okay, no, clue number one that popped in my head, it's not, veganism is not being pushed by the elite because it's not coming through the television. Hello. The television is the number one mind control tool, you guys. The internet is more of a self, you have YouTube on the internet. You have, all these things where you're able to influence, Twitter. We're having individuals take control back from the powers that be. And that's the beauty of the internet, like I said. So the TV is still continues to be a real fear-mongering, political, governmental tool. Okay, so that's how you know that it is about the corporations and the elite. Okay, this is where you're going to see the agenda. Okay, so when you turn on the TV, every other commercial is what? You guys know the answer already. Food, fast food, snacks. It's mostly the fast food places. And if you take the money that fast food places are making off their burgers versus their soda, vegetables, and other vegan foods, it's non-comparable. It's incomparable. They're making so much money off of that. And even if you wanted to look at it this way, all the beef and stuff that they're selling is eating soy. So that's another one of our big crops. And so it's really much more money going into fast food. Okay, so, and yeah, there's a lot of other advertisers that I think are tied up with this. The veganism is very, very tied into healthcare. And what do we see on TV? Health, prescription ad after prescription ad, you guys. And then it's just to me, it's very obvious because veganism is helping those things. Veganism reverses heart disease, diabetes, and can prevent and reverse cancer as well. These are widespread studies, not just a few old random selections of random people calling themselves doctors who are actually dentists and other things like that, who are doing random speculations basically and making theories. That's not a full scientific method. So please be aware of that. Do your research into it and you will see what I mean. Go to KlaireeBerry.com if you want to see a lot of good studies, a lot of different topics. But so anyway, back to the list here, back to the point. It's not coming through the TV. That's one big, huge clue. When the people are talking about the news anchors, what are the news anchors doing right now? Yeah, they do a story here and there on veganism, just like the magazines, another form of media, kind of tipping into the next one. But it's not coming through the TV. It's not coming through the magazines. Hello. And it's not only like, oh, the publisher of a magazine that you're talking about. The deal is when you have magazines, when you have TV, and somewhat is the same for websites, but it's just not the same because there's not a monopoly on the internet. So on the TV, and again, I'm going into number two, which is these top corporations. It's not just the TV or the magazines, but who is also supporting these is the sponsors. Okay, and again, who are the sponsors? Who are the sponsors? Let's see if I even have any magazines right now. I do have some, but they're probably not very good ones to go by. Well, let's just take a Mother Earth News. Okay, let's just see if this can apply. So what is on the first page? So we have some more meat here. This is simple soups for the slow cooker. Turn the page. Oh, look, some pumpkins. Oh, but then you have a bunch of turkeys and hens. Firewood, plants. So a lot more plants, I think, in this magazine. Than probably most, because a big part of this magazine is about growing. Is that a porta potty? Oh, well, it's like a heater or something. Oh, look, we've got non-vegan stuff here. Horse, that looks like a horse saddle. But on a farm, just the fact that on the first page there was meat, that's something. When you're driving down the road, the rich people trying to sell you stuff, what is it? It's meat. It's breakfast patties, burgers, burritos, steak, drink milk. These are the big, huge campaigns that you have. And I'm sorry if I seem kind of like hyped up. I had a little coffee today and I'm kind of, this kind of gets me amped up. I used to be more of a conspiracy theorist, and the fact that people are coming to me now and saying that veganism is a conspiracy, it just really hits me, because every single thing in my life has shown me otherwise. Here's the bottom line is, if veganism is so pushed by the elite, who the elite have been in power. When you look at the people in power, they're still the same ones in power. When you talk about conspiracy theories and you're talking about people who, you go back and you look at these documents, behold a pale horse, like all of this woo, I don't want to say woo conspiracy shit. These have been long plans coming. When you look at the presidents and they're all related, that shows you big money, old money stays together, and that's the elite. That's the real elite, okay? It's not Freely the Banana Girl or, like these people pushing veganism on YouTube. I mean, the vegan community is a grassroots community. It's an internet thing. It's just very, very obvious in my mind. And I hope that I'm making it more clear for other people, because, there's so much information out in this world that, any way that I can help kind of to dispel myths and stuff, I think it's really important. So there is a conspiracy, but from when we're born, it's a conspiracy to drink formula. Oh, the people selling us formula, the big, huge corporations, Nestle, are they pushing soy? Does everybody drink soy? No. The fact that they drink milk and dairy shows you that the people in power long ago did milk, and the people that are in power now are still pushing milk. It's crazy. Okay, so I want to go ahead and move on as to not make this video super, super, super longer than it already is. But the top corporations, when you take a look at the top corporations, I'll list them below. I didn't check it out before. I know that Disney is one of them. Disney serves like one, Disney does have vegan options, I've heard and I've seen, but the vast majority of the food that goes through their place is, of course, meat. But the top corporations, it's really about their reach and their power, not necessarily their products. So again, you have 6 corporations, I think, controlling all of everything on TV. Everything is so bought up now. It's like we've been trying to fight against monopolies since the birth of our nation, but not only when you take a look at those top corporations, they're all infiltrated in the meat and dairy industry. But when you also, going on to number 3 here, when you look at the biggest industries in the world as a whole, food and agriculture is number 1. And again, let me just illustrate this little cycle here, okay? When you're looking at growing vegan food, you're growing vegan food. It's a one-step process, maybe a couple more if you want to process it in certain ways. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, 1 and you're done, okay? When you're growing meat or dairy or eggs, you have so many industries that are tied together that are working for this product, okay? So let me just list a few of the top industries in the world, okay? After food and agriculture, basically you have financial sectors. You have insurance is huge. Health in general. You have chemical and big pharma. You have software. You have construction and defense. You have energy. And of course you have like government, federal government, and education. Okay, those are some of the top things. And if you think about it, they're all tied up with meat eating, not veganism. Is the federal government mandating vegan meals? Well, that's the thing. People think, oh, they're going to, that's the big scare, is that they're going to take away my rights to eat meat. And these people, it's like Trump people, a lot of conservatives right now are prioritizing, their themselves over the world, and we can't afford to do that. And that's why the more liberal side is like about social justice and about the environment a little bit more, maybe not. I'm not a liberal, I'm actually a libertarian, so Green Party, all the way. But back to the point here, when you grow meat as opposed to food, real food, vegetables, fruits, grains, beans, things like this, nuts and seeds and all of that, you are growing, again, you're growing vegetables, you're growing corn, soy, alfalfa, different things to then go ahead and feed to your animals, okay? So not only are you using both sides of agriculture in general, animal and plant agriculture, is both sides of that are invested in animal agriculture. Obviously, animal agriculture is invested in itself, but obviously a large section of the plant side of agriculture is going to this. So you have a small section of food and agriculture industry that is vegan. Okay, so 3/4, you could say, for the visual, and for the idea, 3/4 of it would be, I'm sure that it's more than that because of the volume of people that are eating meat and dairy. So you can see that the biggest industry in the world is obviously pro meat and dairy and eggs. Okay? Duh. This is common sense when you think about it the right way. Again, it is confusing and there's a lot of misinformation, so I don't fault anybody for getting confused. I was anti-vegan at one point too. Most vegans were. Food and agriculture industry is 10% of our global domestic product. That's a little fact for you. Just bring that up the next time that you hear this issue about elites pushing veganism, because the biggest industry in the world and all the top corporations are all tied up. The only reason why we're getting all this vegan food nowadays is because we're demanding it and the consumers want it. On my Facebook Kansas City page, it's called Vegan Kansas City. Half of what we're talking about is finding products that we like and sharing where to find them and what restaurants to go to. This is a people-led movement, okay? And when you look at the doctors, T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Greger, T. Colin Campbell again, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dean Ornish, Dr. McDougall, and then you've got Furman, Dr. Douglas Graham. By the way, none of these doctors, maybe with the exception of Dr. Graham, has he had his medical license revoked? Sean Baker, the doctor, has definitely had his medical license revoked. You get the picture. The biggest industries in the world are all wrapped up, all invested, severely, deeply invested